Now for our last project, last applicant here from the city of Aurora in Colorado.
Yes.
Which has long had pretty exciting leadership. It's the Integrated Voice Technology Project, and it's represented by Mark Prey and Steve Bourgeois.
Thank you. Good afternoon or good evening. We're last, just lucky, I guess. My name is Mark Prey. I'm the Director of Information Technology for the City of Aurora, Colorado. I get to evaluate and implement a lot of technology. And once in a great while, a technology presents itself that is such a dramatic improvement to what we've seen before. It forces us to reevaluate how we do business in the first place. It makes us re-examine our business processes. The internet is a good example of that type of technology. It's forcing people to change the way they do business. Within the city of Aurora, our Integrated Voice Technologies project has had the same impact. So what is an Integrated Voice Technology project? We call it VOCARTA, and it's basically three technologies. It's voice recognition, satellite location, position information, and geographic information systems, or computer maps. Datria Systems, in partnership with the city of Aurora, Colorado, has integrated these technologies into a mobile computer. The computer is installed in a vehicle. The vehicle can be a car, it can be a golf cart, it can even be a backpack. As the vehicle is moving, an inspector simply speaks into a headset microphone a predefined vocabulary or statement, such as stop sign down left, pothole 3 feet by 3 feet right, abandoned vehicle left. So when these statements are spoken into the microphone, the computer converts them into stored text. At the same time, the stored text is linked with the position information from the satellites, so we know what it is and where it is. This information is then automatically input into our geographic information system database, so we can analyze this data to best allocate our limited resources to do the work at hand. Excuse me. So, for example, in code enforcement, an inspector will drive down the road and identify an abandoned vehicle, and when he calls out abandoned vehicle left, the system knows where the inspector is at and also knows what parcels are associated to that vehicle, what parcel is to the left of that vehicle. It also knows what the address of that parcel is, and it knows who owns that parcel. The system then generates automatically a code enforcement violation ticket that's printed out in the vehicle at that moment and delivered to the doorstep. In Public Works, yeah, real popular job. In Public Works, we use this system to create a work schedule for pothole repair. So once we use VOCARTA to go out in the field and inventory all our potholes, the system automatically prioritizes potholes by severity. The first, is it big enough to eat a car? Second, it prioritizes the route of the work crew to follow. And finally, it creates a hard copy work order for the crew to use in the field. So from a simple verbal statement, we put into computer form a very rich and detailed record about a particular asset or piece of or issue. By simply talking to a computer, it's now possible to inspect or inventory items at up to 10 times or 1,000% improvement over the way we did it before. Enabling an inspector to just say what is observed allows for hands-free, heads-up work. That means no more clipboards, no more tablets, no more retyping the data back at the office, in fact, no typing at all. Now I'd like to talk about why this project's innovative. First and most obvious is the technology. Nobody is integrating voice technology, geographic information systems, and satellite location technology. Secondly, the project uses an innovative public-private partnership, which allows Aurora to grow the use of this technology at low or no cost as the product is sold to others. It also allows Aurora to have significant level of input into the future direction of the technology. Aurora is Datria Systems' urban laboratory. Finally, the application of the technology is innovative. We've taken this extremely high technology tool set and attacked a very low technology set of real-world problems, that being street maintenance and code enforcement. By allowing us to do so much more in a given amount of time, it not only saves money, we repair more potholes per year. We remove more abandoned vehicles, we remove more weeds. We improve the quality of life for our citizens.
Thank you. Luis Nogales has been promised the first question.
Yeah, thank you. This is a very impressive technology, and I want to understand the relationship of this partnership. Is it more than the city providing the company the venture capital to produce this? And are you now an owner in this technology?
It's neither of those. Yeah, we were approached by Lockheed Martin originally. It was spun off, and now it's a privately held company. We were approached by Lockheed with these great technologies that they didn't really know what to do with. And we helped them develop real-world applications. For that, we get remunerated for sales of the product. It's not really an equity position.
So you don't have an equity position? So you paid a certain amount to
Yes.
have this adapted for you? What's the period of amortization, do you think, to recover your cost to what you're now saving or doing on this?
We see now that return on investment takes about 3 to 4 months.
Really?
That's been duplicated at a number of locations with hard data. On average, it's a 3 to 4 month return on investment.
Ed Doran?
Well, that was my question. The ultimate cost savings, and you say they're considerable.
Yes, they are. We have this system in a number of locations. City of Austin, Texas is a very good example. In fact, where you're teaching, they're using it for sign inventory. The mayor said, show us where our signs are. We get 1,000 calls a month. We have signs that go down, accidents happen, we're liable from a legal standpoint. Pencil and paper, they were doing 20 signs an hour, come back, type it in, digitize the data, now it's available. After using it for about a year and a half, they went from 20 to 200 signs an hour, and the accuracy went from 85 to 99%. Those are the kinds of numbers that help contribute to a 3 to 4 month return on investment.
Dick Hatcher?
Does Aurora have a need for this kind of technology?
Actually, I believe every city has a need for this type
Well,
of
I understand the
technology.
need, but how many potholes do they have?
Yeah. Too many, but not as many as we had before. We use it in a lot of different areas. I mean, I gave you 3 examples in the presentation, but the use of it is expanding. I believe firmly that we haven't thought of the best use for it. One of the most intriguing projects we're trying to implement is neighborhood appearance. We can collect so much data now. We can trend analyze data over time. We can count how many abandoned vehicles are on a street 4 times a year. We can do things we never thought were possible before.
Well, if you want to lend it out to the District of Columbia sometime, we'd be most appreciative. Mr. Perry, what we're having trouble, I think, or some of us are struggling with, is how much of the innovation is attributable to private industry versus how much is attributable to people in the government. In other words, this is a government innovations award, and to some degree, it sounds like a program or a product invented by industry which you bought.
I guess I'd like you to
Yeah.
respond to that.
I was with Lockheed Martin for 6 years, and when we were starting this initiative out of Lockheed Martin, we were clueless on what the government needed, what industry needed. We knew what special operations forces and reconnaissance surveillance people needed, but potholes, street signs, using police for forms, filling out forms, we didn't know these things. And so when we approached the city of Aurora, we approached them in a partnership mode where we shared in the development of this technology. We brought the resources to do it. They brought the know-how of what do you need to go do. And through this relationship, we've evolved the product to where it is now, where we're seeing this 3 to 4 month return on investment. We're seeing $6 million worth of pavement. You asked how many potholes? Well, they spend $6 million a year on pavement. Instead of saying, let's start on the east side of the city and let's go west till we run out of money, we'll see you next year, they can look at their whole network and say, these are the areas that need the improvement the most, and thus provide a better quality of service to the citizens by paving those areas first that need it.
Todd Bridings?
You mentioned the recognition, voice recognition, and a certain vocabulary, and you used the examples of pothole, abandoned car, and sign down. How much more sophisticated does it get from that? Can you a collapsed shed? I can't even think. How far?
It's unlimited. You teach it what you want it to.
I see.
Yes.
In other words, you decide how far you want it to go.
Right. There's a piece of software that says, when I say these 4 words, it equates to this symbol on the map and this database entry. So it's unlimited.
Are you all currently using it for other things than the
Yes.
3 examples
Yes.
that you gave?
Yes.
If I could add one thing, we've got this use not only in local government, but theme parks are using it like a mini city to manage their theme parks. We've got people in the telecommunications industry that are using it. I changed the words, and I can inspect for anything.
I think that completes our questions. Mr. Prey?